It's TheRock, of course. Okay, so TheRock, right? TheRock. It's not any rock, it's TheRock. Okay, he's actually called Rock, but he was a it's like an really old school player. This guy is 40, or about to be 40. And he is as old as F, because he played his best first Premier tournament was 2003, and the major he was 2 times runner-up. The one was like a team match, and was Pro League basically. That's so old, it wasn't even called Pro League yet. Yeah. It was called Neowitz Pemang Cup Pro League. The 2003 one. So yeah, he was already playing in Pro League basically back then. And in 2003 he had like a major appearance where he lost to Crystal on the PGR 21, whatever that is. Then he has a couple of OSLs where he made round of 8s. Like 4 years in a row. 2005, 2006. Okay, that's 3 years in a row. 2008. I guess he misses 2007. But oh my god! soO doing the Broodwar. That's a StarCraft 2 move. That you don't see that in Broodwar. By the way, he went up to 3 bases here, 3 hatches. There's a Zealot pressuring this base. Then you have a couple of links. There's a lot of things going on, but I'm always impressed with TheRock. He hasn't done that much recently, but this guy is like crazy, man. He's super old school. And his peak was basically 2000. I want to say 2004 to 2008-ish. His personal peak probably in 2006. He made the 2005 OSL, a round of 8, loses to July there. Then the 2006 OSL Season 1, he loses to Iris in the round of 16, that's fine, it's a good finish still. Then the follow-up OSL Season 2 in 2006, he loses to Good Friend in a round of 8 again. And in 2008, in the EVA OSL, he loses to July in the round of 8. So he has a bunch of good, decent finishes. A bunch of deep runs. And remember these OSLs? They used to be like insanely competitive. Like literally getting in was, you were on the top end of players in Pro League. If you would make it only into OSL, you would be considered one of the best players in the world at that time already. Just qualifying for that event was so insanely difficult. So making it to the round of 8 a few times even is a very impressive feat here. So that's TheRock. Anjung-ho. You guys might know Nal-Ra, but he was also called Nal-Rock sometimes. So I think he probably was on, like, you see this with like Endai soO, and he used to be on that same clan Endai as Jaedong, for example, right? So there's like a few things, these Endai and stuff, that I'm not exactly sure what those are, but they're not simple tags. Like they're not just simple, hey, I'm a fan, so I just make this. I think those are actually like online groups or something which used to play with each other. Okay, so let's see if this old school player can make it happen here against the old school StarCraft 2 champion. Now this is gonna be a Hydra contain for now. I'll have to see how much he wants to commit to this. do see the range is not done yet. There's no additional... there's the additional hatchery coming up. So he's just gonna break down the wall. I hope he snipes the forge. He's gonna wait for the range for now. He has a bunch of links with this, which makes it very interesting and kind of committed in the eyes of TheRock, because it's usually not how you do this. You don't see the links, and like, why would they be there, right? He uses the links to get some early map control and pushes out the zealots, and then he just keeps them safe and brings them with the Hydra bust. Now he wants to kill that add-on, like the forge. He wants to kill the forge. He has range finished up now. He's gonna move in a little bit closer, but sometimes one cannon, if it starts to shoot, all of the others start to shoot as well. It's really, really weird. Hello, shield battery. Good to see you, brother. So soO's abandoning the idea of trying to kill that forge. We've seen this more recently. The forge is a little bit kind of tucked in, and a few cannons do cover the forge basically. So it's really difficult to actually kill this one without having to trade hydras for this in this kind of setup. And of course soO is transitioning behind this. He's making more hatcheries. He's finishing up that lair, and we'll soon see what additional tech he wants to throw down with this. If he just wants to play a lurker game, if he wants to go into a spire, for example. Don't think we'll see that spire. Might just be the lurkers. It could be a lurker contain. TheRock is gonna try to push out right now. He's gonna have a bunch of speedlots, and they have that +1, so they'll be happily trading against these hydras, dealing a bunch of additional damage to them. And soO needs to be careful. He can kite them, but it's difficult. Those speedlots, they are very, very sturdy. And they can bust a lot of those hydras. So since there's no lurker tag yet, you can't really make an egg wall or something to micro around. So, and of course he doesn't have the lurker itself to deal some assisting damage here to these zealots. Now on top of the ramp he should be able to be safe, but a few hydras still get cut off here. Corsair is trying its damnedest to kill one overlord. Will get pushed away. And TheRock needs to abandon this. He needs to kind of pull back these zealots, yeah. Needs to kind of fan them out a little bit, I guess. Whatever you do want to do with those, but you can't really do anything aggressive anymore. Yeah, you don't want to just throw them away, right? So one thing is, he sacrificed a lot of zealots right now to trade against the army. Oh, that's interesting. That's a Stargate. So we'll see that Arbiter tech? Oh no, wait. Of course, it's for the courses. What am I talking about? I was too invested in the TVP from earlier still. Okay, so of course it's gonna be the High Templars with Storm here. And I was getting excited, man. I'm like, man, we're seeing Arbiters in ZVP. We can make Scourge and just kill them. And there's actually a Spire. So we didn't see it go up because it was thrown down afterwards. During all of that combating. But there's gonna be that Spire, so... let's see how he wants to play the Spire, right? There's still no lurkers, and that is posing a little bit of a difficulty, but now the mutas are starting to hatch. This is a scene that's only a few mutas yet. Now, you can play this very simple. And the idea is, you kill these 2 High Templars. Or maybe these 3. The idea is basically just kill the High Templars with the mutas, and then you come in with the Hydras and just overwhelm. But soO is not really going for a super aggressive move. It might just be his defensive play, where he just threatens this at first, right? So TheRock is gonna be like, oh, I don't really want to move out with the Templars before I have a bunch of goons to actually keep them safe. Now he's going into the Dragoons, but that's gonna take a moment. And during that time, what happens is that soO just gets the map control at this point. So he can throw down the 4th base. He can potentially... I actually wanted to see a hive here. He's not gonna do that. He's going into Overlord speed here. And soO will just gun down those Dragoons for now. Of course, if he can ever get the Hydras into range, that would be amazing. He's gonna kill the first High Templar here. And he still has a bunch of Hydras. No causes have been remade. He's trying to catch them with the High Templars. Oh, that High Templar, that's exposed. Oh, what? soO mismicroing there like 3 times. Oh my god, I can't believe it. He just had the worst angle there on that HD. That was the biggest rage bait High Templar, man. soO must have been like Shival 3 times or something, because he didn't click on the High Templar correctly. He didn't move his units correctly. That was crazy. It's so weird to see such a mistake on this of like of a high level. But that is, I think, where you see the difference between someone who played Broodwar basically in his childhood and was a up-and-comer in the early days, or like the late days of Broodwar, the early days of his own career, and then played only StarCraft 2 for like a decade or more. And after he retired from StarCraft 2, he has been playing non-stop Broodwar. Yes, I still have this guy on my friends list in StarCraft 2, and I see him every day online. And it's always in StarCraft Broodwar. Every day. Non-stop grinding. And after a couple of years, I think he's been retired for at least 2 years now, it's starting to pay off. Of course, he was there back in the day as well, right? He was playing in Pro League, or at least he was on SKT already in 2009, 2010. Now Muta's coming in here. He's gonna go through and start to kill a few of those geyser drone probes. And that's important money that's gonna be missing here for TheRock, because the Protoss needs that second gas desperately, because he doesn't have a third yet. The third is a mineral only base, so he needs that main base gas, or the natural gas. If they ever lose the probes there, it just is so painful. Every single second is just a big waste, because you literally can only make zealots during that time, right? No High Templars. Oh, that's the Storm on his own zealot there, man. This guy needs to get out of that bad weather. soO is looking good behind his cruising. He has 3 hatches set up over here. His Evo chambers running rampant, another hatchery here in this base. And yeah, he has a very good setup at home. Like 3 Evo chambers at once, right? That's when you know the Zerg player has a bunch of money to spare. He's going into a Queen's Nest right now, but he's also not really denying the 4th here, coming in from TheRock. And the Protoss player, a Protoss player that can grow onto 4 bases, is scary for any Zerg. It is scary. I mean, look at this. He's getting the extra upgrades right now. He's getting the amulet for the High Templar. So every High Templar that pops is gonna be an immediate threat. Insta storm. It's gonna be 3 storms if he stacks them to full energy and just walks around the map. Like this guy has 1 storm right now. He's gonna have 2 when he hits 200. But if he hits 250, right? Well, then he's gonna have 3 storms. So that's how easy math works for you guys. And that's gonna be a difficult situation for soO. Even though soO has the higher supply, he's not really pushing the issue. He has still this Mutaflock. He has so many Hydras. He's just sitting back. He's not even trying to contain, right? A contain needs constant attention. You constantly need to kind of relocate units. You need to reinforce units. You need to check your flanks. You need to actually assess the situation, and you need to be smart about how and where you reinforce a contain. So a contain is actually a lot of attention, constant attention, and something like this where he's just sitting at home and just macroing up, well, it doesn't need that much of attention, right? So he can just use these mutas and roam like crazy. The issue is, yeah, I agree here. She better be saying this in chat. It becomes a really big issue if the Protoss, oh my god, kills all of the mutas with storms, for example, and can just expand and take the whole map. Like soO, as he's not really playing this as aggressive, as I said, but he's not attempting even to contain. He has a huge supply, and he's probably not gonna get broken by 1 or 2 Protoss armies, but the Protoss can just Oh my god, he kills the observer. This lurker on 2 HP, man. Yeah, what I was saying, the Protoss, he can just throw away armies eventually. Because he's gonna have that much to spare. Damn. Even the drone is not gonna make it out. So he does not get that last lurker. So it's gonna be a difficult, actually, evacuation. But there's another storm, so he will throw down the storm, clear that last lurker, and there we go. soO, in the meantime, is saying, alright, it is time. Let's send the yellow wave. Let's send it across the map. He still has a bunch of units behind, but he is trying to come in here. A bunch of links, a bunch of hydras, a bunch of lurkers coming in. No plague grinding. I haven't seen a game of plague grinding yet by soO here. Which is, of course, against a Protoss player extremely powerful. But he will break open this third base for now. TheRock needs these army units here back at home. He needs them to defend. Because this base is going to be broken. It's not the most important base, it's only the mineral base. So it's not the third gas. By now, by the way, the first gas is depleted. Oh no, it's still working. Okay, so yeah, that's actually a big deal that this is the mineral only base and not the gas base. That's good for TheRock. He can still make a bunch of Templars, but he needs to be careful with this army coming back right now. He cannot blindly walk on top of lurkers and die. But he doesn't really have anything at home. His supply is really low, and him being so much out of position and soO just coming in with that big wave, going for the kill move basically, that's kind of crazy, but it seems to be working, and he's having such a difficult time to push through. I don't think there's a lot of observers on the map here. Where's the robo actually? Did it already get killed? No, almost. And there's an overseer here, so yeah, there's no way to clear these lurkers right now. Oh, he has one observer, there we go. He got one out, but if this thing dies, so dies the game. That's it, TheRock. He's just gonna lose the main. Like, he needed more defenses. He didn't have enough stuff at home. He was so aggressive on the map, he didn't have the vision across, so he didn't see when to rotate back. I mean, it's okay, you can of course, you need to punch a hole, you need to rotate your army, but you also need to have something close to the Zerg scouting for you. I mean, there's a bunch of lurkers you need to push through to get up to your main. He's gonna lose everything. He's making a cybernetics core inside the main, but he doesn't even have gateways there. He has one gate. That's his production. There's the last High Templar coming in here. He throws down a storm on these links, kills a zealot of his own. And GG's called, and the 250 energy High Templar will not be able to throw down a storm himself. And that's how soO solves math problems. He waits with his, like, 80% of his supply. That is natural. And he sees his opponent army going into one corner, and then he says, like, alright, let's send 80% of my supply and kill you, because you already have like 60 or 70% of your supplies in that bottom right corner, so I can just go ahead and kill your base. And GG. Wow, that was crazy.